Today's show is sponsored by the multiorgasmicmama.com. If lack of confidence, low libido, or guilt and shame around your sexuality are the cause of your bedroom woes, the hot wild sex you never have anymore, or the transition into motherhood that sucked your libido dry, let me help you get your mojo and magnetic feminine spark back. Magic, miracles, total self-love, and multi-orgasmic bliss included. See you at themultiorgasmicmama.com. Hey, hot mamas, it's Lacey Broussard here, and guess what today is? It is the second anniversary of the Multi-Orgasmic Mama podcast, and I could not be more thrilled that you're here listening to this episode today, because this episode is all about figuring out what you want. How do you find out what you want? How do you know what your desires are? This is the basis of what I teach. This is desire. Having desire is all about feeling alive. If you don't feel alive, it's because you're not connected to the things that you desire in your life. So super excited today. Stay to the end. I've got a super special offer to give you. If you would do me the biggest favor and give the podcast a 5-star rating and write a review as a way to celebrate our second year in business. Yes, today, again, talking all about desires and how to know what you want. Obviously, in the context of what I teach, I'm talking about sexual desires, relationship desires, and love life desires. But what I'm about to teach you today can work for anything, any area of your life where you're kind of stuck, even career desires. If you're one of those women that don't know what you want, or you're one of those women that often says, I don't know, this episode is for you. Because honestly, those 3 words, I don't know, are really sad to me, and I hear them all the time. I've gotten a few women on the phone that I've talked to before, and sometimes I'll even count the number of times they've said, I don't know to me. And that is because they are so stuck second guessing themselves. They're so disconnected from their intuition, from their gut feelings, from their instinct, that they don't even know what they want. And they don't trust the things that they are aware of that they do want. This second guessing, this self-doubt, this distrust in our inner knowing, it causes us to shut ourselves off from our pleasure and our joy, and it results in a closed sacral chakra. And a closed sacral chakra is like closing you off from your life force, and especially if you're a woman. And when you close yourself off from the life force, which, by the way, is your sexual energy, it's your sexual energy, and your pleasure is your life force, then that's when overwhelm and depletion set in. So all of these mamas going around saying, I'm so busy, I don't have time, I'm overwhelmed. That is why. Because their sacral chakra is closed and they've shut themselves off from pleasure, which is their life force energy. But conditioning, the way that we've been conditioned to do this, is not the only thing that closes the sacral chakra and cuts us off from our desire and our pleasure. It's also trauma. And one of the effects of trauma is that we learn to not trust the ground beneath us, the foundation. We learn to think that it's not safe to let go into joy and pleasure and go after our desires. Because, well, who's going to hold up the ground if you're off chasing your pleasure, your joy, and your desire? That's what happens when you are carrying a trauma body. Now, while trauma and conditioning are the things that disconnect you from your desires, the mindset and the narrative that you have adopted as a result of the conditioning and the trauma are that deep down you have decided that you can't have what you want because of several things. You're either unworthy of it, you don't deserve it, you're not smart enough, you're not good enough, you're too old, or that it's not going to work for you, or you won't be successful at it. So if you want to get back in touch with what you desire and to be able to stand in the knowing of what you want, there are 3 things that I want you to do. Two of them are questions that I want you to take stock of. And the third one is a very amazing, powerful practice that I'm going to share with you today. And like I said, if you throw up a 5-star review and write a 5-star rating and write a review for me, I'm going to offer a very special gift for you. So stay to the end. Okay, the first question I want you to ask yourself is, who are you envious of and why? Jealousy and envy are interesting emotions because they also carry amazing information, right? We often view them as a negative thing, but they are super enlightening. A lot of women experience jealousy and envy around other women, and that's because there's something about the other woman that you want or you wished that you had. Well, hello, desires, right? You're jealous or envious of them because they have something that you want. That's why I want you to take stock of who in your life are you so jealous of you could cut a bitch, right? That is important information for you right there. Why are you jealous of them? Why? Does she have amazing sex with her partner? Is she multi-orgasmic and you're not sure if you ever had an orgasm? Does her partner treat her like a queen and you're in the freaking dating trenches being stood up, ghosted, and rejected all the time? Does she have, well, if you're jealous of me, does she have a glamorous sex coaching job and get to talk about sex and pleasure all day for a living while you're sitting at your day job wishing you could do more amazing things in the world? What is it that you're jealous and envious of? You are envious of those women because they have something that you desire. When you take stock of who you're envious and jealous of and why, then you're going to begin connecting to what it is that you really do want. Now, the second question I want you to ask yourself is, if you knew that you were good enough, that you were worthy enough, that you deserved it, that you were smart enough, what would you do? You want to take that negative mindset, that negative conditioning, and you're going to flip it upside down. If you knew you were good enough in bed, what would you do? If you knew you were sexy enough to your partner, what would you do and how would you feel inside? If you knew you were orgasmic enough right now, that your orgasm was enough right now, what would you do? If you knew that your pleasure were enough, exactly how it is, how would that change things for you? If you knew your sex life weren't over because you're going through menopause, what would you do or who would you get to be? If you knew you were worthy of pleasure and that you deserved it, what would you do? If you knew you were good enough for that person you were crushing on, if you knew you were worthy of having that freaking god or goddess in your life, what would you do? Ask yourself all of these questions, and they will help you to get more clear about what you really desire deep down. Now, the third step, and my favorite, honestly, is to get in touch with your body, and especially your ovaries if you have female genitalia, or your testicles if you have male genitalia. Ovaries and testicles are literally the seed of life and desire, because to feel alive is to have desire. So when you are not feeling very alive in your life, it is because you have got stuck and stagnant energy, either in your ovaries or your testes, that are keeping you from feeling your desires and being connected to them. Because all of that negative conditioning and the negative mindsets you've adopted and the trauma that you have been through keeps all of that desire under lockdown. That is why many women are so disconnected from their desire, because we have so much negative conditioning, mindset, and trauma around our sexuality and our pleasure. If you have ovaries, one of the most amazing practices you can do to remove and energetically move out that stuck and stagnant energy is to practice ovarian breathing, to get in touch with that aliveness inside of you and unlock life and desire from the inside out. And if you have testicles, you'll want to learn testicle massage. Now, I'm not going to go over that today, but I am going to go over ovarian breathing. And again, if you leave a 5-star rating and review the podcast as a celebration for the second anniversary of the Multi-Orgasmic Mama podcast, I am going to give you an ovarian breathing audio guided practice. I'll tell you how at the end. So for those of you that want to follow along now, I'm just going to go over it briefly. It's not going to work as well if, without the audio guided practice, but just so you have an idea of what it's like. For those of you with ovaries or the energy of ovaries inside, okay, you do not have to have your physical ovaries to do ovarian breathing practice. You do not have to menstruate to do the ovarian energy practice or ovarian breathing practice. The concept is still the same. If you have female genitalia, if you have had ovaries at some point, you have the energetic blueprint of ovaries inside of you. Now, the concept of ovarian breathing in the Taoist tradition is that your ovaries are constantly making this magical, sparkly, life-giving energy all of the time. They are the core source of life and where life begins in your body, making it the home of feeling alive, of feeling vital inside. It's like a springtime, super electric green, very sexy, luscious energy that's fun to play with. And it also holds the key to your greatest and deepest desires. Ovarian breathing, it doesn't just work when you're young and you're ovulating and menstruating. When you can use it when you're younger, if you're not having babies, to harness the ovarian energy and use it for something else. This creative force inside of you, it can be used for so many other things, not just making babies, but we are never taught how to harness this type of energy and what to do with it. You have so much aliveness and vibrancy inside of you and so much magic, and no one teaches you what to do with it other than, well, have a baby or make a baby. But you can use this creative life force to propel your creative projects or endeavors, to help you in your business when you're feeling stuck or stagnant or like there's no inspiration, to get activated and out of overwhelm, and to connect with high vibration emotions like love and joy. And in menopause, your ovaries, according to the Taoist tradition, they go into their second spring, meaning that they return back to the kind of teenage pre-baby making years where they have this abundant creativity and aliveness in them. That is why your sexuality is not over once you've gone through menopause. It just means that you get to take back all of that creative life force and use it for you, not for making babies. So if unlocking your greatest desires from the wisdom of your body and not just your head sounds cool to you, then you're going to want to try this ovarian breathing practice, because we can sit here and think about, okay, what do I desire? What do I desire? What do I really want? But the truth is, your body holds so much wisdom around what your body desires. Your body desires certain things too. And none of us pay attention to that. You're going to hear a lot of people. You could probably Google how to know what you want right now. And you're probably going to get a bazillion hits and YouTube videos or podcasts even about how to find out what you want by thinking about it. But what I want to encourage you to do is to get in touch with what your body wants, because it holds the compass for your soul's greatest growth and development potential. Your body's wise, and it sometimes knows more than what your logical brain can even fathom. Now, to do ovarian breathing, there are a couple key steps. Ideally, you're going to want to be seated in a comfortable sitting position. And once you're seated, you're going to locate your ovaries or the energy of your ovaries by connecting your thumbs at your navel And you're going to make a downward facing triangle with your hands. So your thumbs are connected, your pointer fingers are connected downwards, and there's literally a triangle that you're making. And then your pinkies, where your pinkies fall, if your thumbs are at your navel, that's right around where your ovaries are going to be. And you're going to do a light ovarian massage, just massaging very gently this area in your ovaries. And as you're massaging, just smiling into the ovaries and feeling this luscious, this beautiful, life giving energy inside. And just a note about this practice, it is super potent right around the time that you are ovulating. And if you don't cycle, it's most potent around a full moon. All right, so once you have connected with your ovaries or the energy of your ovaries, you're going to want to begin to breathe into your ovaries, just breathing into them. And as you're breathing into them, inhaling and exhaling, connecting to a cosmic energy. Now, what do I mean by cosmic energy, right? It could be anything you want. It could be moonlight. A moonlight energy is very feminine and yin in nature. Or it could be starlight, which again is very feminine and yin. It could be sunlight, which is very yang, masculine. Or it could even be a cosmic energy from the planet Venus, right? The planet Venus is all about love and desire. So maybe calling in and connecting with the energy of love and desire, this cosmic energy from the planet Venus, even. And as you're feeling for this cosmic energy and breathing into your ovaries, feeling this pouring down into your ovaries and feeling them get brighter and brighter, lighting up, getting activated, and keep breathing and feeling them coming more and more alive. And then you're going to begin to inhale. And then exhale, you're taking all of that ovarian energy and moving it into the center of your womb. So you're inhaling, you're building a ball of this ovarian life force energy inside of your womb. And as soon as you feel that you've built enough, you're exhaling, moving it into the center of your womb. Inhaling, feeling that ovarian energy expand. Exhaling, moving that ovarian energy into the center of your womb. And after you've done this a couple of rounds at the pace of your own breath, you're going to take that ovarian energy at the center of your womb and you're going to cycle it through the microcosmic orbit. This is where you're really unlocking it through your whole body, taking that once stuck and stagnant energy in your greatest life potential area of your body, and you're cycling all of that life force and that chi, that jing chi energy through your entire body. So once that energy is collected in the center of your womb, you're inhaling all of that energy up the back of your spine, all the way to the top of your head. You're inhaling it at the top of your head, feeling that life force energy cycle in your brain, lighting up both hemispheres in your brain, and then exhaling that ovarian energy down the front of your body, back into your womb. And just letting that ovarian energy cycling up the back of the body again to the top of the head, letting it cycle through the brain on an inhale. And then exhale, dropping that ovarian energy down the front of the body, back into the center of your womb. And you can just continue that cycle, moving that ovarian energy from the pelvis and having it just stay stuck in the pelvis, moving it all throughout the body. And it's just activating your entire body to this aliveness inside of you, releasing that stuck and stagnant energy, keeping you disconnected from your desire. So this is a super powerful practice. And it's even more potent, as I said, if you're ovulating or if it is a full moon time of the month. So let's just recap the ovarian breathing practice. You're just going to locate your ovaries, and you're going to connect with your ovaries by making the triangular shape with your thumbs, your pointer fingers, and then knowing that your ovaries are right around where your pinkies would land. And then you're going to breathe into your ovaries, connecting to any sort of cosmic energy that you really connect with, and feeling that cosmic energy making your ovaries brighter and brighter. And then you're exhaling the ovarian energy into your womb. Inhaling, feeling the ovarian energy expand, exhaling it into the womb. Inhale, feeling it expand, exhaling it into the womb. And then you're cycling that unlocked ovarian energy through the microcosmic orbit up the back of the body to the top of the head, and then cycling it back down the front of the body, back into the womb. So if that sounds like a super yummy and juicy activating practice that you would love to try out on an audio guided recording, then I would absolutely love to gift you that 10-minute practice. If you would please just go throw up a 5-star rating on the podcast and write a review of how this podcast has changed your sex life or improved your relationship. I would love to hear from you about that. And if you would like to contact me to let me know you've done that, that would be the easiest to get you that audio guided practice. So you can send an email to Lacey, Lacey, at themultiorgasmicmama.com, or you can find me and message me on Facebook or Instagram, which is at Lacey Mama. All right, my dears, thank you so much. And I really appreciate any feedback you have about the podcast, because as always, this is for you. This is my service to you for free. So in whatever way I can support you through this podcast for free, I would love to be able to do that. So any topics you'd like for me to discuss, anything you'd like to hear me speak about, I would love to have your feedback. Thank you so much, and happy second birthday. All right, bye, my dears.